Hey, Raheem, I'll say welcome back to Miami since you started off here.
Yeah,
There's an obvious connection with you and Mike McDaniel, and I feel like you're better suited than anyone to answer this. Just being and working with him so up close, what can you tell us about Mike McDaniel and why he's so ready to kind of take on this role as the leader and the coach of the Miami Dolphins?
yeah. Well, first off, Daniel, appreciate the introduction, man. It's a long time coming, full circle. And to answer your question, yeah, Mike McDaniel is he's one heck of a coach. Me personally, dealing with him for the last several years and getting to know him more so on a personal level. He um, he just wants the best out of his players. No matter what transpires throughout the rest of the team and stuff like that. In his role that he had with the Niners, he definitely exemplified, a guy that can go out there and get players pumped up, including myself. We'd have these games where I come in for the game plan and he'll be talking to me and stuff like that and getting me ready, to go out there and perform at a high level. But Mike is definitely one of those coaches that has a lot of tenacity. He brings a lot of uh, you know characterism and stuff like that is ultimately gonna lead players into the right direction. And I feel like with the opportunity that he has right now is definitely going to be magnified on a much bigger scale because, like I said, he's just an unbelievable coach and a great guy. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait to see how this whole thing turns out.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Marcel, ESPN.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How about yourself, Marcel?
I can't complain, man. You seen the weather out in Miami. It's hard to have a bad day.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
But curious, just to go off a little bit on your last answer, how would you describe Mike's leadership style? Like, is he a rah-rah kind of guy? Is he just like ultimately like uber prepared and lets you know that, he's prepared for whatever situation? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how would you
Yeah.
describe his leadership style?
No, I mean his leadership style, man. He's definitely a guy that's over prepared. He wants to get the game plan in. He wants to understand, the scheme, but he also wants to be a coach where, hey, look, we're gonna get this job done. You're gonna see he. I can't really tell myself, hey, look, he's a rah rah guy because I've only had personal conversations with him. I've only been on a personal level with him, and I've seen what he did with other guys on the field. But it's just one of those things where you just got to see how it goes. And I think that he's, like I said, he's prepared, man. He's always going to be prepared. No matter what the outcome is or what the situation entails. But he's always going to have that readiness to him. And I think that it's definitely going to come out this season, especially as a head coach.
And then if I can follow up, obviously they signed Chase, a couple days before agreeing with you. What do you envision your role being here with Chase also on the roster?
Yeah, I envision my role, the same thing how it was with the Niners. Just coming in and competing. We signed Chase and kudos to Chase, man. He's a heck of a player. I've watched him. I mean, obviously I've been watching him just because, the Niner connection and, us playing the Cardinals 2 times a year. So I know all about Chase, man. And it's funny when I got to Miami, he was also in Miami at the same time, and we were both having our physicals, and I didn't really realize who it was sitting in the chair because he had got there like literally a couple hours before I did. And as I was walking by to go to use the restroom, he had stopped me. He was like, "Hey, Raheem, big fan, blah blah blah," and I was like I couldn't really recognize him because he had his mask on. And he's like, "I'm Chase." I'm like, "Oh, what's up, man?" Like, just dapped him up and stuff like that. But I told him like, "Hey, look, man, I've been in the system already, and there's gonna be some minor tweaks and everything like that. But just be patient, and when the time comes, you'll see how this thing flourishes out, man. It's gonna be a fun time, and if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. We exchange numbers and stuff like that. So, I try to implement my role as when I was with the Niners, the room that was being built and the room that was built, we lean on each other. It's not so much of, hey, look, I'm gonna beat this guy out. I'm competitive. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna show everybody that they made a wrong mistake by signing him and not signing me. It's more so like, hey, look, we're all brothers. We're in this together, and this is how we're gonna operate. I want to see you win, and I hope you want to see me win. And one thing that I even talked to the running backs coach when I got in the facility. I basically broke it down to him. The mindset that I have for the running back group. I'm gonna help you feed your family. You help me feed mine. And that's something that I've lived with. Going back to Coach Turner in San Francisco, he instilled that in the room. So I'm gonna be still instilling that in the guys that aren't too familiar with the scheme and aren't too familiar with the play calls and everything like that. So
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Appreciate you, man.
Omar, Sun Sentinel.
One, I want to get into where you are from a rehab standpoint, and then also with this wide zone scheme. I don't know if that's exactly how you refer to it, but what is the key to the success of establishing that type of running style?
Yes, I appreciate it. Your name is Omar, correct?
What do you say?
Your name's Omar, correct?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Omar. I'm Raheem.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So to answer your first question, man, I'm way ahead of schedule on my rehab. I've been training hard. I've been getting back, in the rehab phases, and I went to go see my doctor a week before I signed that Wednesday, Dr. Cooper out in Dallas, and in the 6 years that he's done this surgery, I am by far the fastest healing patient that he's ever experienced, and he's dealt with several different athletes in the league. So that right there just tells you how fast paced my body is. And I like to tend to call myself a mini Wolverine just because I heal fast when it comes to injuries. So yeah, I'm way ahead of schedule, and I just can't wait to start running, man. Just get my legs back up under me. It's gonna take me no time to hit that 24 miles an hour. So that's my goal for this year. And to answer your second question, Omar, is with the run scheme, yeah, it's wide zone, a typical run scheme, but we do a lot of inside zone. So there's several different ways we could attack the defense. And Mike's gonna, like I said, Mike, he's been a run game coordinator for years with the Niners, and I know that he's gonna come up with a great game plan, per defense. And so, when it comes to those, wide zone reads and stuff like that, you really have to just make your mark as putting your foot in the ground and get upfield. And I do it exceptional well at that, especially understanding the blocking scheme, because you can't just be a running back in the league. You have to also understand the blocking scheme. And if a lot of running backs tell you differently, then they're kind of foolish on their part. But with this offense, you definitely have to understand the blocking scheme and what the defensive front is, and how the linebackers overplay the run, and how can you counterbalance that. And yeah, it just, a lot goes into it, but it's fairly simple too. So you just can't make it more than what it is.
Thank you. I appreciate the answer.
Yeah, I hope that answered you well, man.
Oh, it answered it. It was phenomenal.
I appreciate it, Omar.
David, Sun Sentinel.
Hey, Raheem. Welcome to Miami again. Could you reflect on your first stint with the Dolphins, that first tenure, and playing in an NFL game for the first time with Miami, a regular season game at least? How are you different? How have you grown since then?
Yeah, that's a great question, David. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So when I first got to the Dolphins, it was my first ever opportunity on actually making a play in the NFL that actually counted. So you go through preseason. I was with the Eagles undrafted, and then I tell everybody the story. When I talked to I believe his name is Trav. Yeah, I told Trav on the podcast about the time I was at the Dolphins, and all I had on my back was just nothing but Eagles gear when I showed up to the facility. So it was one of those things for me where I've aged a little bit more, and I've understand the game and the business aspect. You can't necessarily just wear the team issue gear, especially when you're going to get poached off another team. So I've changed those ways throughout the years. But yeah, when I first got here, man, it was an unbelievable moment for me. Being able to go out there, and I was a special teamer at heart. So I just had to work my way up the totem pole. I think at the time we had Lamar. We had Jay Ajayi, we had Damian Williams, and I'm forgetting another back. But I didn't have the training camp under me to have the coaches know who I was and everything like that. So being able to come in and try to provide a different type of aspect, in special teams, and go out there and try to produce at a high level was very important to me, just like it is still to this day. So a lot has changed, and a lot of carryover. Coaching changes happened during the time I think Dan Campbell took over as the interim coach, and that's when I actually got released and then got picked up by the Ravens. But it's just crazy how full circle it can be. I always believed in myself, and one of the things that I've always told myself was, hey, look, don't ever burn those bridges, because those same bridges can lead you to a full circle and a complete different path. So I just try to put that in my mind and put that in my toolbox. And when it comes to the football aspect, that's what I also use as well, because like I said, now I'm in this position to where I can be the running back of the Miami Dolphins and go out there and produce at a high level like I've always been doing. So it takes a lot throughout the years, and you just gain that knowledge, but it's definitely worth it.
Barry Jackson, Miami Herald.
Hi, Raheem. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Beyond Brett doing the contract last week, did you have any contact with Coach McDaniel in the process? Did he call you and say, I want to get back what we had in San Francisco together? Any call from him?
Yeah, I mean, we had discussions prior to him even being a Dolphin, and it was just one of those things like, hey, man, I don't know where my coaching journey is going to take me, but I would love to have you and stuff like that. And, we've built that relationship over time. And I know that, during the free agency, there's a tampering period that you're not allowed to talk to coaches and personal level and one-on-ones and stuff like that. But I just know that, he was trying to do everything in his possible, willpower to try to get me. So, I'm blessed and happy that, he's still taking a chance on me and everything like that, because, at the end of the day, that's all you really need is that one person to believe in you, and the sky's the limit, whether you want to believe that or not. Everybody has a journey in life, and, that's one of the things that I've always believed in was, it just takes one person to believe in me. If I can get that one person to believe in me, then let's ride, man. Let's get this show on the road,
And one other quick question for you. Did you ask Dr. Cooper about how this particular injury affects running backs?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard positive things in terms of it shouldn't affect your cutting and some of your elite skills. Is that something you talked to Dr. Cooper about, and what did you emerge from those discussions thinking?
Yeah, so me and Dr. Cooper had, I want to say like a week of conversation, specifically on my position and everything like that. And he said that, hey, look, I've had O linemen had this same injury, and their position is a little more demanding as far as technique based, and that's where it gets real tricky. I've had cornerbacks, had the same injury and had the same operation, and I believe Xavier Howard was the one that had got an operation done by Dr. Cooper, and I mean, look how he turned out. He's a all Pro Bowl type of caliber player. So for him to come back in the mindset that he had, is definitely one of those things that I know that I can come in and get this rehab and tackle this rehab and get the surgery and be 120% rather than 110. So.
Thanks so much, Reem.
Thank you, Barry. I appreciate it.
Mark Stallworth, Miami Times.
Hey, Raheem, Mark Starr, welcome to Miami.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you.
No problem. My question to you, you played some games in the Super Bowl at Hard Rock Stadium. You had a pretty impressive postseason that year.
Mm-hmm.
Heading to Miami this year, knowing that you, Chase, are joining the team, and the Dolphins haven't had a 1,000-yard running back since 2016, do you think this is the year that you all may be able to break that milestone?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that, really impressed me about the history of the Dolphins, like you said, was the fact that they didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher for some time. But, with this offense, who knows, man? This thing can. I wasn't the starter in the 2019 season. I came in, I want to say like 5th on the depth chart, just playing strictly special teams. And next thing you know, it just led me to the performance I had in the postseason and then playing in the Super Bowl and leading the team in rushing. So, this offense is definitely tailored to a one pony running back to, rush for 1,000 yards. But, in the grand scheme of things, we're not necessarily, I know in previous years, the running backs that I've had in San Francisco, we weren't necessarily, worried about somebody reaching 1,000 yards because in the grand scheme of things, we were all just worried about each other and how we could, bring the best out of each other. And stats will come, maybe myself, Chase, or any other running back that comes in and they do rush for 1,000 yards. Miles, he has the potential to do it. We all have the potential to do it, but like I said, I know this offense well, and I could tell you that we don't necessarily have to have everybody think about 1,000 yards. It's all about how can we each get each other better. Hopefully that answered your question, Mark.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. That looks like that's all the questions we have. Thanks, Raheem.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. And, I wanted to say thank you for taking the time as well, getting to know me. And I'm just excited, man, to go out here and just show you guys what, not only for you guys, but for the fans as well, what we can do. And I don't want to get us too hyped or anything like that, but just know that you got a special player, man, for sure.